Hello, my kings and queens, the non-binary in-betweens. I am here. I just remembered something. The reason I was gone for a few days was because one, I wanted to relax for the first day, and two, the second day, Murder Drones episode 7 came out, so that's self-explanatory. Anyway, I am here. I know this is going to be interesting. I also read a few comments because I was waiting for things to quiet down. And things are going to be interesting. So let's get into this. Glitch means serious. Got it.
I've never had the chance to even actually talk to this guy one-on-one. And he just sits there, stands.
You can't really do
there,
anything.
Unabashed by anything. I cannot wait to break you. Ruin. Oh, hello. Sorry, I was preoccupied with entertaining myself since I am stuck in one room watching
And you're just watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Got it.
all sorts. What are you doing here, Eclipse? I want answers to my questions. Ah, of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Suppose I can answer them to the best of my abilities then, shouldn't I? What is it you want to know, Are you just going to stand there and stare at me? Or why'd you make me? I believe I answered this question towards Moon. It was so that they could get distracted. No. They have a lot of things you could have done to distract them.
Of all
But
things.
me, you were the easiest. Something I could make off the back burner of all their trauma. It was easy to make you, at the very least.
I mean, true, but they have a bunch of other stuff too. Like, you could have brought back KC. That would have been a lot more trouble than Eclipse, because KC would be taking over technically their minds. If you put that back inside of Moon's head, I mean, technically that'll be even bigger distraction. Just saying.
It was very easy to make you. It took a very little time, to be very honest. And why? And how? How did you make me? I built your body, of course. Building the body is probably the easiest part in this whole ordeal.
Very
the second
true.
thing I did was I looked at all the documentation of your person. All the insecurities, all of the
Ego.
belligerentness of it. And I simply put it into your being. All the memories I could find, anyways. All of it. Yes, as much as I could find. However, that does not truly mean that you are Eclipse, in a sense. What does that mean? What does that mean at all? Of course
Separate
I
person.
know.
I'm going to be using a metaphor, but this is literally, well, literal. But it's kind of like, I've read after a near-death experience, somebody tends to grow from that scenario and become a better person and, well, become a different person in general, not being the person they were before. Seen it in shows, read about it when Moon went through his things, and then I could see what kind of impact it would have on him. I was disappointed with what I found because I wanted to find some trauma and all that, but in reality, I only found positive things. I wanted to find some things I wanted to find some interesting things, but I guess that was fine. So, technically, you've been reborn. You have a second chance.
You're not. You know it too. You are a photogenic copy. A version of which you believe yourself to look like.
Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Believe yourself to look like. Is this an angel dust thing right now? Like how he had to pretend to act and all that, and how he was really hiding all of his problems. Basically, putting on an act, playing a character that he was forced to play in order to feel like he fit in and survive. Isn't that what I've been saying this entire time?
You are an eclipse in the same way that I am sun and moon. Of course, they can put on their voices and act like them. It's not a hard thing to do. You are simply a mimic of the initial eclipse. That one is gone. That eclipse is never coming back. His system has been destroyed down to its very core. You are not the same, and nor will you ever be.
I'm sorry. Again, my ADHD brain just. Oh, what's going on there? Clearly, I remember you wouldn't want to build your body, so clearly you're not that good at robotics, mate. For your fingers to look like that. Specifically your thumbs. Also, it's always made me feel weird that those are all white when Sun and Moon's teeth change colour. It just feels weird to me.
Blood Moon, same thing. I built his body, and then I put his memories and such into it. I had to make some adjustments, though, because I didn't wish to make nanomachines. A simple body would have been enough to cause a distraction and help me with my plans at the time. And he was helpful. He was very helpful.
Pretty amount of time here,
You
baby.
don't seem satisfied. Why would I be satisfied with any of this? I died. I have all these memories that aren't even mine. You made me for no reason other than to just be your puppet, your pawn, so that way you can go on a genocidal maniac tour. Call me a genocider. I mean, technically, you are correct.
I have a feeling he's feeling remorse for the people who have died. More things towards my headcanon, and if you want to know about that theory, I can do so, trust me, I can, because I have evidence to support, and I would gladly do so.
You still would have done it, wouldn't you? Yes. I would have done it again. What's your plan in all this? You gave yourself up willingly, came here of your own volition. So what? Moon could just kill you? Do you not want to enjoy the fruits of your labor of a creator, freed, and multidimensional? I don't care to enjoy it. I watched my world turn asunder. I watched my friends turn against one another as their minds slowly were consumed by that infernal virus. All of them succumbed to it. They all slowly drove themselves mad.
Popcorn. Wish I had it.
I knew my goal when I figured out why they were going insane. And I had to act as the crazy little man that I was, who wanted nothing more than to play games and hurt people while playing the games or whatever crap it was. I learned I needed to get rid of the creator.
So
But
you
if I
do
just
like
got rid of
torturing
him,
people with
another one
games.
would have taken his place. Especially that stupid council of theirs.
So this wasn't a matter
I'm-
of grief? So this wasn't a matter of grief that he acted in this way? I mean, okay. I want you guys to. I'm not saying this guy's good in any way or justifies his action, but now I can kind of actually understand because ever since he was introduced into the show, I've been unable to analyze him very well since he was all over the place and I had nothing to really grab upon. So this is really the first thing I have. And it's basically, well, grief upon his dimension being collapsed and anger to and vengeance. If you had that power, essentially, and you watched everyone you care about go insane and it was your fault and you didn't know, and it was someone else who did this to you to cause this to happen, I would do the same thing, but it's still unforgivable. I mean, you maybe understand someone's intentions, but just because you understand it doesn't make them forgivable.
More than happy that I've killed every creator in a weird form of justice. My friends were avenged.
A weird form of justice. Oh my god, I noticed in some form in My Hero. A weird form of justice where they just murder, but... Stain. God dang it.
And I am happy for that. Your friends are all dead.
Something has come.
You'd mentioned your dimension's destroyed. Why? Of course my dimension's destroyed. The wither storm had eaten everything there. It is now an empty house. What's the difference between a destroyed and collapsed dimension? Can you answer that? Well, certainly. A collapsed dimension is one in which let me use a metaphor for you, if you would. As I said in the house, a destroyed dimension is an empty house, something that is no longer carrying any living forms of life in any capacity.
So, okay. So essentially, it's like a house with no one living in it. It's still there, and the thing still happens, but there's nothing there. But the thing still happens, which is why you're still here. But if the house was never made, there was no memories there, or no timelines happened inside that said house. Okay.
The carpet grows gray with dust. The walls slowly corrode over time with dirt and mold and grass and greenery. A collapsed dimension is the sheer destruction of that home. Nothing remains. No dust to be gathered up, no greenery to be growing into, and no mold for it to get into as well. My dimension is destroyed, yet I can still remain. But Solar's had a creator, one of which it was a very dangerous person. Sure, they did not destroy the dimension in any capacity, but they were still very dangerous.
In what way, mate? Tell me in what way.
Why do you ask about Sola? I was under the impression that you thought him as a lesser and inferior. Yet you ask for why? No reason. What have you been cooking up in your head, Eclipse?
Remorse, I would like to think. Remorse. And empathy. Finally seeing what an action of another person does to someone. If you are the person committing said actions, you are focusing on yourself. But if you're the outside looking in, you get to understand. Kind of like, you know, like how we sometimes, like, when there's a big emotional thing happen, there's like two sides split. But when you truly need to go in, two sides split because they're angry over the emotional reactions. But that's just us looking in. We're not the characters. But when you're your character, you're focused with the emotion. But when you're looking in, you see the whole story and the whole truth.
I simply ask because, well, knowing you, you don't go around asking redundant questions unless they give you some form of knowledge or if you can use it. I'm going to make an astute guess as though you have somehow found out a way to bring Sola back. Why would I, in any capacity, try to bring him back? I hated him.
Remorse.
True. Very true. Perhaps it's just the nature of a person to try and do some good. I mean, after all, you're not exactly the same. There will be some errors. Maybe you're not as cruel as the original. Maybe you're not as poignant as the original. Or as smart. But at the end of the day, you...
You're given a second chance.
see. I see it now. The bit of codes I stole from Sola. Now, given the situation Sola was in, it just seems to stand to reason it would... What are you talking about?
This is what I've been thinking. My headcanon. Since he was made from Sola's code, yes, they have the exact same code, but yet sometimes the code can evolve in different ways. If the code was completely reset, you still wouldn't have the eclipse we knew, or the solar that we knew. He didn't completely reset the code because that would mean he would have to add all of the memories and everything. Yes, it does seem like that happened, but it didn't happen fully. I will get into that in a different video if there's enough people wanting it.
How rare do you think a Sola is? In any universe?
Extremely.
Why does it matter for me to answer that? Well, I simply thought it'd be I simply thought it'd be a neat question of my own. They're rare. They're very rare.
Extremely, I'm guessing.
Exceptionally rare. You see, when Moon throws you to the wolves of Sun's head, you usually turn evil. You turn very angry, evil, and destitute almost.
Getting some more
To
here.
cultivate a Sola, though, you need to grow as a person. The difference between you and Sola is that he suffered. Sure, you too were stuck in the mind of Sun's head. But there's a reason you turned out the way you did, plotting and scheming. You didn't try to talk even a little bit, to learn some fruits of knowledge. No, you went to...
He got the answers early. Eclipse didn't go searching for answers. He was just angry. You need to understand. Eclipse, I don't think, will fully understand unless he asks us the questions. Maybe he might give Moon some questions to ask to the old Moon. And then he receives his answers.
hatred and vengeance almost immediately. You know what Sola did? He took over Sun and demanded answers. What does this matter? All I'm saying is that there's only so much I can copy from a Sola to make an eclipse. Yes, you share many of the same personality traits. The sass, the rambunctiousness, and all that sort of bullshit.
Teenage
But
emo.
perhaps I took a bit too much. Copied a bit too much.
You are searching for
You're
answers?
still not happy with that, are you? What? But the reason you're changing, or the reason that you're trying to bring Sola, I'm not bringing him back. The reason then that you are slightly better than your previous self is because Sola is a little bit in you. You know,
As I
maybe it is
thought.
Sola that is affecting your consciousness. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's the fact that you realized that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Or maybe I'm completely wrong and you're trying to play Moon to get his guard down and eventually kill him. You've been doing a horrible job of that, though, haven't you? When Moon gives the go-ahead. Yes, I know you're going to torture me until I can't talk, until I can't breathe, until I can't just. Whatever. Until I'm dead. I understand what you're going to do to me. I don't care for your vague threats anymore, and your belligerent questions in any capacity. If you have any more things you wish to ask, then I shall simply ignore them. You clearly don't want me to give you information that will be helpful in any regard, at least. Do you know how many people are going to try to kill you? Oh. I imagine in the last-ditch efforts, why wouldn't they try to kill me? Make some amalgamation, make some thing that'll try to get to me, or perhaps maybe it'll even be somebody from this dimension that'll wish my death upon my head. I certainly know Earth does. She does not wish for your death. Oh, surprising. That one should learn how to be a bit more cruel, I say. Why don't you leave her out of the conversation?
Again, I will go over the theory, so even if you if it seems weird about what I'm about to say, I will explain it if you want me to. Earth has I have a feeling that Earth is eclipses like kind of like an aunt figure, you know, like the fun aunts you can go to and just like talk to about anything. I have a feeling that's what she's going to be like to him.
Oh, well, that is a little funny, I shall say. Are you? No. What? I'm not going to say any more. I don't wish to spoil the surprise. I would request that you leave me be, no, Eclipse. I'd rather go back to watching my anime. I hate you. I know. I hate myself as well. All the killing and trickery. It does get to me. There was
Yeah.
nothing I could do to save him, by the way. You've already said that. Why mention it again? Because you're wondering. There was nothing I could do to save Sola. Copying his data, pasting it into a bin or a folder, certainly would have made a backup of him. But however, the memories, those you cannot back up. If I just made a backup of his
Because if the house never existed, there was no memories to be made in that said house.
personality, it would have made you. So disappointing. You could have been great. Goodbye, Eclipse. Maybe I should just kill him. What's the harm in it anyway at this point? Data? Like he has anything that'll help us in any capacity.
Did you just say help us? You and US? We are finally getting my redemption arc. I've been asking this for so long. Thank you.
It's fine. I'm fine. When the time comes, I'm gonna kill him. And if anybody gets in my way like that amalgamated wired freak, I'm killing them too.
There's a lot of things I wish I could say, but I would. It would not make a lot of sense unless there's a lot of context, which will have to be its own video entirely. Of course, I am willing to go through it if you wish. I mean, it's as crazy as a Map Pack video, but it just might be the reality. I mean, I might make it tomorrow, or I don't know, like just some. I'm just that one of those kind of people. If you guys want an explanation behind it, I might do a poll to see. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Oh, we are getting a lot of growth and character developments to the point where Eclipse is even wondering things himself. Ooh, we're getting interesting. Also, we got us finally, we got something with Ruin's brain. I've been searching for months. I don't even know how long he's been here now. But, wait, calculating. around 6 months. More than 6 months, and I haven't gotten anything from his brain, really. So yeah. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you later, my kings and queens and the non-binary in-betweens. See you next time.